Hey, it's Rachel with Matt's Fitness, and with this class, I have a few of my regular students joining us. This is a special Earth Day class, so we'll begin in a comfortable upright seat, a meditation seat. It could be cross-legged. If you've got yoga blocks, you might want to grab a couple of blocks, but let's make our way onto our mats and take a seat, and you can begin to close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice any sounds or smells. We have a nice sunny day here this morning. If you're able to take your mat outside, you could even take your mat outside. We're going to stay in. It's a little chilly. But April is always a month for growth and rebirth. We're just starting to break through some of the kind of death and destruction of winter and witnessing transformation and new life again. So everything about Mother Earth is always a cycle of falling apart and coming together and falling apart, of death and birth and death and birth. What most people tend to forget about growth and about change is that destruction is always a part of that process. In our physical yoga practice on the mat, we invite in some struggle and challenge in order to grow. It's the same lesson we receive daily from the land and seasonally from the land. I always love having a yoga class on Earth Day, as there's so much we have to learn from nature and our earth. So hopefully this practice can serve as a reminder to embrace the struggle and challenge and destruction, to trust its process, knowing that growth and rebirth is always just around the corner. So we'll take 3 big grounding breaths to kind of dig in and tune in. So we'll take a big breath in And let it go. And another breath in. And let it go. Last one, breath in. And let it go. And start to blink your eyes open. And we'll transition into a tabletop position. And then from table, let's move into heart to earth. So hips are over the knees. Hands dive forward, chest melts down, chin or forehead. A symbol of opening up your heart for the earth, for the universe to pour in. And then start to walk it back to a child's pose. You can widen the knees here if you'd like. Just a couple of breaths. Now grounding the forehead or third eye center. Opening up the third eye center for wisdom to pour in. And then let's rise up onto hands and knees. If you need any movement here in between before your downward dog, you can take that now, but over the next 5 breaths, find your first downward dog, taking any movement along the way that feels helpful. And we'll find some stillness in our downward facing dog and take a big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Start to walk the hands towards the feet at the back of the mat and fold down over the legs. Let the crown of the head go. Knees can be as bent as you'd like here. And on an inhale, we'll take a half lift, lengthen the spine, lengthen the legs, draw shoulder blades together in the upper back. And exhale, fold back down over the legs. And on an inhale, bend the knees quite a bit, tuck the tail, and curl up really slow, one vertebra at a time. So you're being really intentional about rounding into the spine on the way up. And then with your next breath in, reach up through the fingertips, full body stretch. And exhale, hands to the heart. And then we'll drop the arms alongside of the body and reverse it. So we're tucking the chin, and we're rounding into the upper back and rounding into the mid back. So we're trying to curl back down over the legs. And then finally, you're back to your normal forward fold. And then walk the hands all the way forward into a plank. And we'll take a breath in and plank. And then on an exhale from the knees or from the toes, lower for a chaturanga. And on an inhale, come back to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. Walk the hands to the feet at the back of the mat. Fold down over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Deep bend of the knees. Tuck the tail, round up slow, one vertebra at a time. Each point of the back curling as you rise, and with your next breath in, take a full body stretch. And exhale the hands to the heart. And then drop the arms alongside of the body, tuck the chin. Really intentional with the rounding upper, middle, lower as you make your way back into your forward fold. And then next inhale, walk the hands forward into plank. And on an exhale from the knees or from the toes, chaturanga, elbows are in. Inhale, plank. And exhale, downward dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. Walk the hands to the feet, back of the mat. Fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Round into the spine, intentional curling as we press all the way up to stand. And then next breath in, full body stretch. And exhale the hands to the heart. Drop the arm alongside of the body, tuck the chin. Round upper, middle, lower. Landing in your fold. And then on an inhale, walk the hands forward into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. And then direct step forward with the right foot in between the hands. Find the fingertips once the foot is forward, kind of like a half lift, but with lunge legs. And then we'll spiral open to the left for a side lunge. So the left toes turn open, and the left knee tracks the toes. We'll come back to the top of the mat and plant the palms, downward dog. For a breath in, and a breath out. And then direct step forward with the left foot in between the hands. Find the fingertips, take an inhale. And as you exhale, spiral open to the right, side lunge, back of the mat. Knee tracks the toes. Travel back to the top of the mat. Plant the palms, downward dog. Breath in. And a breath out. And then lift the heels, bend the knees, crouched downward dog. Hug the belly and the ribs back towards your thighs. Tilt sitting bones and tail up towards the sky. Stay for a breath in and a breath out. And then gaze forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. On an inhale, come to chair. Seat is back, knees are back, shins are back. Stay for a breath in and a breath out. And another breath in, and a breath out. Inhale, press to stand, full body stretch. And exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Open up the hip, bend the knee, but then think about trying to reach the right toes towards the back of your head, kind of like a scorpion. Yeah. And then set the right foot down and lift the left leg up. Open up the hip, bend the knee a little. And then imagine trying to reach the left toes towards the back of the head. And set the left foot down. Walk the hands to the feet at the back of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Round into the spine as you curl up. So the head is the final thing to lift. And then the arms reach up. Exhale the hands to the heart. And then start to curl it back down. Once you've landed in your fold, walk the hands forward into plank. Lowering chaturanga, but this time on your inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to send it back, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Try reaching the right toes towards the back of the head. And then as you exhale, bring right knee towards right wrist to hover the shin above the mat. Shoulders are over the wrists. And inhale, same thing. Send it up and back, reaching the toes towards the back of the head. And exhale, right knee to left wrist, so across the body, but hovering the shin. Inhale to send it up and back, toes towards the head. And then exhale, knee to nose. So rounding into the spine for this one, higher with the thigh. And land the foot between the hands. Find your fingertips, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open to the left, side lunge to the back of the mat. Travel back to the top of the mat. Plant the palms, downward dog. Inhale to lift the left leg. Open the hip, bend the knee, reach the toes towards the head. And exhale, left knee, left wrist, hovering the shin. Inhale, send it back and reach. Exhale, left knee to right wrist. Inhale, send it back. Reach the toes to the head. Exhale, round into the spine for this one, knee to nose. And land the foot between the hands. Find your fingertips as you inhale. And then exhale, open to the right, side lunge. Travel to the top of the mat. Plant the palms, downward dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Pause in your bent knee, downward dog. Big, full breaths to work into that deeper hip flexed position. And then send the gaze forward, step or hop forward for a half lift inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come to chair. Exhale, stay. Another breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, press to stand, full body stretch. And exhale, dive it down. Plant the palms, downward dog. Last time through, walk the hands to the feet at the back of the mat. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Round into the spine as you rise up. The head is the last thing to lift. And then reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands through the heart and drop them down as you round all the way back down. Once you're in your fold, walk the hands forward into a plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, open up your heart, cobra or upward dog. And exhale to send it back, downward dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. Lift the right leg. Three-legged dog, open up the hip. Reach the toes towards the back of the head. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, so higher up onto the arm. Inhale, send it up and back. Reach the toes. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, higher up on the left arm. Inhale, send it up and back. Open it up. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Pause. Hovering shoulders over wrists. And then land the foot between the hands. Find the fingertips, take an inhale. Exhale, side lunge at the back of the mat. From here, if you need to use the hands, you can. I plop a lot of the time on this one, but we're gonna come all the way down to sit. And then once you're down to sit, the left knee will point forward. Yep, good. Once the left knee is pointing forward, the right foot slides in. And we'll rise up onto the knees. And we'll try stepping the left foot forward. Yep, so it's kind of like a weird lunge. And then we'll bring it back the way that we came. So we're back to our seat. Yep. The right leg extends forward. The left knee spirals outward. And I always have to use my hands for this. If you can rise up without using your hands, you can try rising. I'm going to come back up with my hands to our side lunge, so it's all sorts of hip mobility work. And then travel back to the top of the mat, and we're back to our downward dog. Awesome. Inhale to lift the left leg. Three-legged dog. Reach the toes towards the head. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. High on the left arm. Inhale, send it up and back. Open it up. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, send it back. Final time. Exhale, knee to nose. Round and press the mat away. Pause. And then land the foot between the hands. Find your fingertips. Take an inhale. Exhale, open to the right for the side lunge. And then try coming all the way down to sit. The right knee will spiral inward, so the right knee is pointed forward. And the left leg is straight, and then we bring the left foot in and rise up onto the knees. Right foot steps directly forward towards me, and we lunge. And then we come back. Back to sit. Left foot forward. Right foot out. If you can get up without your hands, go for it. I cannot. Side lunge. And then back to the top of the mat. Downward dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Crouch, downward dog. Reach tailbone towards the sky. Send the gaze forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach up. Full body stretch. Exhale, dive it back down. Plant the palms, downward facing dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. And drop the knees to the mat, hip width distance apart. Rise up onto the knees, setting up for camel. Toes can be tucked initially if you'd like. And then we'll start with a half camel. So a modification option would be to have right hand on the back and left arm reaching up. Or right hand on the heel and left arm reaching up. And we'll kind of flow with that. So left arm is up, right hand to the back or to the foot. Take a breath in. And then we'll exhale and sweep the left arm kind of across the face. So I'm reaching across my face and then down, almost like you're drawing circles. And then we switch. So the right arm reaches across the face and up. And exhale as you sweep across the face to switch sides. Inhale. And exhale as you switch. A couple more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last one each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale to release. Plant the palms. Lift the hips. Downward dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg. Three-legged dog. Reach the toes towards the back of the head. And then exhale, right knee to right wrist. Hovering the shin. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, right knee to left wrist. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow or higher. Inhale, back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow or higher. And send it back. This time it's a little bit more of a square position for the hip, so you don't have to open the hip a whole lot. Send the gaze forward, lift the head back a little, like you're getting a little bit closer to having the toes meet the back of the head. Yeah, good. We'll hold and breathe for 3, for 2, and then we're reversing our position on 1 as we exhale, knee to nose, shoulders shift forward, and land the foot between the hands. Find the fingertips, take an inhale. Exhale, open to the left side lunge. Coming down to sit. Left knee points forward. Right foot comes in, kind of like pigeon. Rising up. And you can always stay here as a modification, or left foot steps forward. Send it back. Right leg forward. Left knee up. Hands or not, to come back to side lunge. Traveling to the top of the mat. Plant the palms for a three-legged dog this time. Right leg lifts up and back. You can choose to stay in your three-legged dog or start to flip open into wild thing. Wherever you are, let's take 2 breaths. A breath in and a breath out for 1. And another breath in and a breath out for 2. If you're in wild thing, come back to three-legged dog. Gather here, inhale. Exhale, curl knee to nose. And land the foot between the hands. On an inhale, rise up, high lunge. Exhale, stay. Next breath in, hinge forward, reach back, find the tippy toes, roll off the toes for warrior 3. Hands can be on blocks under the shoulders or on the ground under the shoulders. On our next inhale, let's rise to stand, reaching the left knee up, maybe the fingertips. And then set the left foot down for chair. Inhale here. Exhale, stay. Another full breath in. And a breath out. Next inhale, press to stand, full body stretch. And exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, downward dog. Take a breath in through your nose. And let it go. Let's try the other side. So lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Reach the toes towards the back of the head. And exhale, left knee to left wrist. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee to right wrist. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back a little bit more square. Lift the head, send the gaze forward, lift the heart, pull the heart forward like scorpion. Holding for 3, for 2. And then on 1, exhale and curl, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Pause. And land the foot between the hands. Find the fingertips, take an inhale. Exhale, open to the right side lunge. Coming all the way down to sit. Right knee points forward, left leg is straight ahead. Left knee comes in like pigeon, or shin comes in like pigeon. We rise up. Step the right foot forward into a lunge. Come back to sit. Left leg forward. Right knee up. And we're back to our side lunge. Good. Travel top of the mat. Three-legged dog as we plant the palms. The left leg sweeps up and back. Open up the hip, bend the knee, stay here, or wild thing on the other side. 2 breaths, inhale. Exhale, 1. And inhale. And exhale, 2. Come back to your three-legged dog if you're in wild thing. Take a breath in. Exhale, curl knee to nose. Land the foot between the hands. Inhale lifts you up, crescent. Exhale, stay. Inhale, heart forward, reach back. Tippy toes, rolling off and lifting off, warrior 3. Pause to breathe. And then next inhale lifts you up. Right knee lifts, standing balance, top of the mat. And set the right foot down for chair. Big breath in. And a breath out. And another breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, press to stand, full body stretch. This time exhale, hands to the heart. And bring the feet wide for Malasana. So bend the knees, sink the seat. You can use the elbows kind of like hooks on the inside if you want. Maybe close your eyes here. Stay for one more breath in. And a breath out. Lift the hips. Point the toes forward, heel toe the feet in to kind of your normal stance. Fold over the legs, letting the crown of the head hang. And then let's plant the palms. Downward facing dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. And bring the knees to the mat again, rising up onto the knees. Shoulders over top of the hips. We'll start on the other side. So left hand to lower back or to the heel. Right fingertips reach up for a half camel. And we'll start here for a breath in. And a breath out. And then sweep across the face as you go to switch sides. Right hand is down. Left arm reaches for a breath in. And a breath out. And then the left arm sweeps across the face. And you could come into a full camel, reaching back for both heels. Or you can come into a little bit more of a modified variation with the hands on the lower back. Maybe even fingertips pointed up. Trying to keep our hips drawing forward. Still sending the tailbone down for some space in the lower back. Puffing up through the heart, so just as much about length as depth. Few more breaths. One more breath in. And a breath out. Hands come to the lower back if they aren't. Finding neutral first. And then bring the hands down and melt forward just where we were at the beginning in that heart to earth shape. So now that the spine is hopefully more warm and mobile, you might feel this be a little more spacious. And we'll start to rise back up and come back to down dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Reach the toes towards the head and lift the head a little so the gaze is forward, like you're pulling your heart forward with the hands. And then as you exhale, press the mat away and curl knee to nose. Land the foot between the hands. Use an inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Exhale to stay. And then next inhale, heart forward, arms back. Roll off the back toes, using the right leg to lift the left leg. Buoyancy of the heart. Next inhale lifts you up, standing balance, top of the mat. Left knee lifts. And then take a hold of the left ankle or foot with your left hand, drawing the left knee in. You can choose to stay here or flex the foot into the hand and begin to hinge and lift up for dancer. And then try coming back up. Reach up, lift the left knee. Send it back through a warrior three. You can reach back or down as you go. Soft step back, crescent lunge, inhale. And exhale the hands to the mat for plank. Lowering chaturanga. Inhale, open heart. And exhale, downward dog. Lift the left leg for that scorpion variation. Heart pulls forward, head lifts up and back, toes reach towards the head. Next, exhale, press the mat away, knee to nose. And land the foot between the hands. Inhale lifts you up, crescent lunge. Exhale, stay. And then inhale, heart forward, arms back, rolling off the toes. Warrior three. On an inhale, lift up, standing balance. Right knee lifts. And then right hand to right foot or ankle for dancer. Option to reach back, and your hand could be on the inside if you want. Start to bring it back through center. Reach up, lift the knee up. Warrior three. And send it back to crescent. Inhale to sweep. And exhale, hands to the mat. Plank pose into chaturanga. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward dog. For a breath in. And a breath out. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Pause here. Hug the belly and the ribs into the thighs. Lift the sitting bones up. And then gaze forward, and this time let's send the right shin forward for pigeon. But instead of folding down over the shin, we'll stay upright, so you could have hands on blocks or right hip on a block if that feels a little more supportive. If you want to reach back with your left hand for a bind, or even hook the foot into the elbow crease for a bind, you can. If you have the foot, let it go. And we'll roll over onto the right hip, bringing the left leg around in front, kind of hovering. So a little bit of active mobility work before we switch sides. So the left leg is hovering, and then we bring it right back. And then it comes forward, and we bring it back. and forward and back. And last one, forward and back. Maybe even lifting up a little bit more of an active pigeon, so instead of kind of melting into the joints, we're using the strength around the pelvis. And then plant the palms. If you want to flow through a vinyasa, you can, or right to downward dog for a couple of big breaths. Once you're back to your downward dog, deep bend of the knees again, lifting the heels up. Hold here, digging in to find space, length along the spine. And then let's send the left shin forward. An upright pigeon on the other side. Walking the shoulders back so they're above the hips as best as you can. If you want a bind on this side, you can reach the right hand or hook the foot in the elbow crease. And if you have the foot, let it go. And we'll roll over onto the left hip. Bring the right leg around in front. And send it back. And bring it around. A few more times, just like that. All trying to mobilize the body. Last time forward. And then we'll pause and lift up and out of the joints a little more so you're recruiting the glutes to work here. And then we'll send it back. Downward dog. Bring the knees back to the mat. Lift the shoulders over top of the knees and the hips. So coming back to one more camel series. We'll start again with our half camel and move a final time into full camel. So right hand will be down or on the back, and the left arm will sweep up and back for a breath in. And a breath out. And then reach across the face to switch sides. For a breath in. And a breath out. And then you can add both hands for a full camel, or you can bring the hands to the back, or you can stick with half camel. Glide the hips forward. Lift the heart up. Smooth out your breath. Hands come to the lower back if they're not there already. Come back up to neutral. And then for a moment, just sink the hips onto the heels. Open up the palms. Close your eyes. And then dive the hands forward once more to come back to down dog. for a breath in and out. And walk the hands to the feet at the back of the mat. We'll round up the same way we've been doing, so tuck the chin, curl slow, lower, middle, upper, the head finally lifts, and then just roll the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale as you round them back and down. And then pick a focal point for the gaze for tree pose. Can't have an Earth Day class without a tree. Ground through the right foot, bottom of the left foot, anywhere along the inseam of the right leg. Hands can be at the heart, on the hips, reaching up, reaching out. Point the left knee forward and set it down. Stamp into the left foot, switch sides. Sole of the right foot on the inseam of the left leg or ankle. Same drishti point for the gaze. Next inhale, lift the right knee up. And then set it down. Interlace the hands at the base of the skull, and you can let your elbows come in towards the temples, and then use the weight of the arms to curl the chin down into the chest. So this is sort of the same motion we've been doing, but just a little bit more weight with the hands. And then we'll start to round into the spine, keeping the bind of the hands, curl it back down. And see if you can bring your elbows to your knees or even higher. And soften the knees a little as you round back up slowly. And with your next breath in, open the elbows wide and lift the heart up. A little bit of a back bend. And then as you exhale, curl the elbows in, round the chin in. Take it slow as you curl back down. Trying to bring elbows to knees or higher up on the thigh. One more time, bend the knees to rise. Use the strength of the glutes and not the back too much as you rise up. Finally, the head lifts and the elbows open and the heart lifts. And exhale, curl it down a final time. Chin, upper, middle, lower, some softness in the knees as you try guiding the elbows to the knees or thighs. And then you can let the head go and let the hands drape down into a fold, maybe swaying a little side to side. And really you can stay right about where you are towards the back of the mat, and we'll stamp down into the right foot for a standing split. So the left leg will lift up and back. Hands can be on blocks here if you'd like. Walking the hands in close to the line of the right foot. Let the crown of the head go. And we'll take a breath in and a breath out. And then start to bend both knees. We're coming all the way down to sit in our Ardha Matsya seat. So the left knee swivels kind of towards the outside of the right shin. So you can come all the way down. And a modification option would be to extend the left leg forward and cross the right leg over. And then the other option is to have the left heel back by the right hip. Find both sitting bones. Take a breath in. Reach up through the left fingertips. Right hand around behind. And then exhale, twist to the right, hugging or hooking the elbow on the thigh, tall through the lower spine. Open across the front of the right shoulder into the right side of the chest. And then release back to center. There's an option to stay here and more of kind of a meditation seat, or you can begin to extend the left leg out. So I'm on my left hip and my toes are pointed to the left, and my right toes also now point towards the side edge of the mat. So your right toes will be pointed that way, and so were your left toes actually, but you're on your left hip and your left hand, and maybe the outside of the left foot. You could have both hands down and fold towards the long edge of your mat in kind of like a fallen over baby grasshopper. If you want to try grasshopper pose or baby grasshopper pose, you could reach with your right hand towards your left foot towards me, towards the extended leg foot, and you can try lifting up onto the right foot. So you're on left hand and right foot, but just an option. Yeah. So a few more breaths wherever you are. And then we'll rise back up, pivoting around to face me, the top of your mat. Left heel can come in so that you come back into standing split the way that you came, or you can just rise back up and use the hands to rise. So right foot stamps down, left leg lifts, and we're back in our standing split for a final breath in and a breath out. And then both feet come down, and you can pedal it out a little bit. We'll try the other side. Right leg lifts, standing split on the left leg. Walking the hands in, folding down for a couple of breaths. Active with the lifting up of the right heel towards the sky. And then both knees begin to bend as the right knee swivels towards the outside of the left shin. And we come all the way down to sit. Can always sit up onto a block. You can have the right leg forward towards me. We'll inhale up tall, reach up through the right fingertips, and then exhale, twist to the left, hug or a hook of the elbow. And then release back to center. And you'll pivot towards the right long edge of the mat. I'm just going to switch sides for a better point of view. The right leg is extended. The left toes and the right toes are pointed in the same direction, so opposite side wall. Both hands can be down as you just kind of fold over for a little bit of a hip stretch, or you can reach your left hand towards the outer edge of the right foot, and maybe you even lift the hips up for kind of that baby grasshopper pose. So last few breaths. And we'll begin to rise back up, going back the way that we came. So if you want to go back through Ardha Matsya, you can, or if you just want to plant the hands and rise, you can. Standing split on the left leg. For a breath in, and a breath out. And stamp the right foot down beside the left. And fold over the legs. You could hang in ragdoll, grabbing opposite elbows. And release the hands down as you walk them all the way back out into a high plank. Lower into chaturanga and pause. And then come all the way to the belly. You can reach the arms back for locust or take a hold of the feet for bow. Imagine you've got a block between the inner thighs and we're trying to bite the block with the knees as we lift up. And breathe. And then let it all down. Turn the right cheek to the mat. Let the arms go. Couple breaths here. And then come back. One more. Locust or bow. Taking a hold and rising back up. Focused with the gaze, but still soft. Last breath in. And let it go. The left cheek to the mat. Let the whole body drop. And slowly press yourself up into a child's pose. Hips back to the heels. Let the forehead rest down. Let the hips melt down. This was written by Pema Chodron. She's a really prominent meditation teacher and Buddhist teacher. And she says, usually when we are all caught up We're so engrossed in our storyline that we lose our perspective. The painful situation at home, in our job, in prison, in war, wherever we might find ourselves, when we are caught in the difficulty, our perspective usually becomes very narrow, microscopic even. We have the habit of automatically going inward. Taking a moment to look at the sky or taking a few seconds to abide with the fluid energy of life can give us a bigger perspective that the universe is vast, that we are a tiny dot in space, that endless, beginningless space is always available to us. Then we might understand that our predicament is just a moment in time and that we have a choice to strengthen old habitual responses or to be free. Being open and receptive to whatever is happening is always more important than getting worked up and adding further aggression to the planet, adding further pollution to the atmosphere. Whatever occurs is the right opportunity to shift the basic tendency to get hooked, to get worked up, to close our minds and hearts. Whatever we perceive or feel or think is the perfect support for making a fundamental shift toward openness. Natural openness has the power to give life meaning and to inspire us. With just a moment of recognition that the natural openness is here, gradually you realize that natural intelligence and natural warmth are present too. It's like opening a door to the vastness and timelessness and magic of the place in which you find yourself. Take it slow as you start to rise back up, and let's find a seat facing forward. Extend the right leg forward towards me and place the sole of the left foot anywhere along the right leg, kind of like tree. And then walk the sitting bones back as you start to hinge forward and take a gentle fold over the right leg. And start to rise back up. Extend the left leg forward. Right leg comes in. Sitting bones walk back, pelvis empties forward. Folding down. And begin to rise back up. You can extend both legs forward. And then take it slow as you curl all the way down onto your back. Once you are on your back, take a moment there to kind of settle in. And then bring the soles of the feet together for a lying bound angle. If you want to slide a block under each thigh or knee, that's always a nice option. Place the left hand on the heart and the right hand on the belly. Coming back to this concept of embracing the struggle or embracing the destruction without being totally consumed by it. My spiritual teacher, Liz, taught me a few months back, or I guess she asked me if I knew what happens to a caterpillar once it forms its cocoon and goes into hibernation. And I was like, well, I think they turn into a butterfly at some point, but before the caterpillar breaks out of its cocoon and flies off into the universe, it turns into complete liquid. So inside the cocoon, the caterpillar completely liquefies before it starts to break the shell, break its kind of comfort zone and flies away. And so it's a beautiful, natural image that we can imprint on our minds and our hearts when things feel hard, that we can let them feel hard or dark without staying there too long. It's an endless process of falling apart and reforming and falling apart. Pema Chodron actually has a book called When Things Fall Apart, which is also a really good book. Slowly start to bring your knees back together. Give them a hug and towards the belly. And then drop the knees to the left for a spinal twist. Left hand can help ground. Right arm opens wide. Let the entire width of the upper back melt down. And take their knees through center. And drop them to the right. And slowly bring the knees back to center. Give them one last hug. There's an option to tuck the chin into the chest a final time and maybe even bring the nose or the forehead into the knees. And then as you're ready, drop the legs out long and the arms out long. Make any final adjustments or grab any props or anything you want to get cozy for Shavasana. Let the eyes close. Amongst all the chaos and busyness of this world we live in, notice the still, stable embrace of the ground below. Start to bring a little bit of life back to your body. Find any movement that feels good. Over the next couple of breaths, make your way onto one side. And take it slow as you come back up to your meditation seat. Take a full breath in And let it go. Thank you for sharing this practice with all of us today. Namaste.